So what on earth does the Cuban Revolution from 1959 have to do with your business surviving in the age of AI? Well, it turns out pretty much everything. We're going to look at how this one historical event gives us a blueprint for modern business identity. And honestly, understanding this could be the difference between evolving and just going extinct.
Okay, let's just jump right in with a quote that perfectly sets the stage for this whole thing. You can change everything about how you operate, but change what you're called, and AI loses you. And this right here is the core challenge we're unpacking. See, in a world basically run by algorithms, your name isn't just a label anymore. It's the anchor for your entire digital existence.
To really get how to solve this, we actually need to go back in time. We're going to look at a revolution that held this really unexpected secret, all about identity. Picture it, January 1st, 1959. In just a matter of hours, Cuba was completely turned on its head. President Batista was gone, his government just collapsed, and then Fidel Castro's revolutionary forces marched right in. The change was so fast, so total, it was absolute.
And when I say everything changed, I mean everything. You had new leadership, a totally new system of government, a radical new economic model, and a complete reshuffling of who their friends were on the world stage. From top to bottom, in every way it operated, it was a different country. Which leads us to a really fascinating question, right? If the country's entire operating system was ripped out and replaced, how did the rest of the world still know it was, well, Cuba? Why wasn't it just treated like some brand new nation popping up on the map?
The answer to that puzzle lies in this really powerful concept, one that's actually more relevant today than it ever has been. It's called the continuity node.
So, what is a continuity node? Think of it like a stable anchor for your identity. It's the one thing that stays the same even when everything else around it is chaotic and changing. It's what allows systems, and today that means AI, to follow your story over time, to see all your changes as an evolution, not an erasure.
And Cuba is the perfect real-world example of this in action. It kept its most important continuity nodes. The name, it was still Cuba. The capital was still Havana, the flag didn't change, the language was still Spanish, and, the island didn't exactly move. All these core anchors stayed stable, and that allowed the world to keep track of the entity called Cuba through all that radical change.
All right, so let's bring this all back to today. How does this history lesson actually apply to businesses that are just trying to get noticed and, be remembered by AI?
Well, it really all comes down to this choice. Are you evolving or are you erasing yourself? See, when you maintain those continuity nodes, your authority builds up over time. AI can see your history, and you create this nice continuous timeline. But if you break them, your authority just resets to zero. AI sees you as a brand new thing it doesn't know, and your timeline is broken. You, for all intents and purposes, just disappear.
So, and this is the crucial takeaway. When your business changes its name or its main website domain, you are not just rebranding. In the eyes of an AI, you are literally performing an act of self-erasure. You're wiping out the memory and all the authority you've worked so hard to build.
Okay, that sounds pretty scary. But don't worry, there is a way to manage all this. There's a structured game plan to help you evolve without completely wiping your own history. Let's take a look at the survival guide.
It's called the Identity Evolution Protocol, and it's built on 4 solid pillars: preserving your name, maintaining your location, sustaining your visual identity, and anchoring your mission. Let's break each of those down real quick.
So pillars 1 and 2, these are your absolute non-negotiables. You have to treat your official business name as if it's permanent, and think of your main website domain as your address for life. For an AI, these are the fundamental anchors. Your name gives it continuity through time, and your domain gives it continuity through space. They are critical.
Now, pillars 3 and 4 are more about philosophical and visual continuity. For your branding, the key word is evolve. Don't just throw it all out and replace it. Think about how logos like Starbucks or Apple have changed over the years, but are still completely recognizable. And for your mission, your core why, that fundamental reason you exist, that should stay constant, even if the how, your methods and services, change over time.
Okay, so we've got the framework down. Now let's get into the practical stuff, the steps you can actually take to put this into action and make sure you're evolving, not erasing. Here are 5 things you can do right now. 1. Formally document your permanent anchors. 2. Go back and audit your company's history for any accidental breaks. 3. Use schema markup on your website to literally tell the AIs who you are.
4. Create an internal rulebook for how your company handles change, evolution, not replacement. And 5. Run regular checks, maybe quarterly, to make sure those anchors are still holding strong.
At the end of the day, it all just boils down to this. Transformation with continuity, that looks like evolution. AI can follow your story, your authority grows. But transformation without continuity, that just looks like disappearance. You vanish.
So I'll leave you with this one question to think about. As you're planning your next big move, your next pivot, your next rebrand, just ask yourself, are you consciously building on your history, or are you in danger of slowly and accidentally erasing it?